From the deserts of Iran to the mountains of Afghanistan, from the streets of Mogadishu to the caves of Iraq, Delta Force has carried some of the most elite, specialized, and lethal weapons ever fielded by any military unit on Earth. Today we're covering every single one of them. Era 1, the founding arsenal, 1977 to 1983, M1911A1. When Delta Force was founded in 1977 by Colonel Charles Beckwith, the M1911A1 was the standard sidearm carried by its operators. A proven .45 ACP semi-automatic pistol with decades of American military service. It offered stopping power and reliability. Delta operators carried customized versions with improved triggers, sights, and grips, long before most units even knew modifications existed. M16A1. The standard issue M16A1 was Delta's primary rifle in the early years. Chambered in 5.56mm, it was lightweight and accurate, but operators quickly found its 20-inch barrel awkward for close-quarters work. Delta armorers began modifying them almost immediately, cutting barrels, swapping furniture, and tuning triggers in ways the wider army wouldn't adopt for decades. CAR-15. Delta embraced the CAR-15, the carbine variant of the M16, as a far more practical weapon for their missions. Its shorter barrel made it ideal for vehicle operations, build-in clearance, and covert carry. The CAR-15 saw its most famous tragic deployment during Operation Eagle Claw in 1980, the failed Iran hostage rescue. M4A1 Grease Gun. Surprisingly, some early Delta operators retained the aging World War II era .45 ACP M4A1 Grease Gun submachine gun in the early years. Its suppressor-ready design and subsonic .45 caliber rounds made it effective for quiet work. It was one of the few holdovers from an earlier era of American special operations. M67 Fragmentation Grenade. A staple of every Delta kit from day one, the M67 frag grenade became a signature breaching and clearing tool. Delta operators trained obsessively with grenades, knowing exactly how to cook, throw, and bank them in confined spaces. In hostage rescue scenarios, grenade placement could mean the difference between a clean rescue and a catastrophe. M18 Smoke Grenade. Used extensively for signaling, concealment, and marking landing zones, the M18 smoke grenade was a constant in Delta loadouts. In operations requiring helicopter extraction under fire, colored smoke became critical for fast identification. Delta refined its use into a precision communication tool between ground operators and air crews. M72 Law light anti-tank weapon. 66mm M72 Law rocket launcher gave Delta a portable anti-armor and bunker-busting capability from its earliest days. Lightweight and single-shot, it could be carried by individual operators without burdening the team. Its limitations in accuracy and penetration against modern armor drove Delta toward more capable systems over time. Remington 870. Delta Force adopted the pump-action Remington 870 shotgun early as a dedicated door-breaching tool. Loaded with specialty breaching rounds, a single shot could destroy a lock or hinge, allowing operators to stack and enter in seconds. The 870 became an enduring fixture in close-quarters battle kits across decades of Delta operations. MP5A3. Perhaps no weapon became more synonymous with Delta Force's early identity than the Heckler & Koch MP5. Chambered in 9mm and renowned for its pinpoint accuracy and soft recoil during automatic fire, it was the gold standard for hostage rescue. Delta operators trained relentlessly with the MP5, and its suppressed variants allowed near silent close-quarters engagement. MP5SD. The MP5SD was the integrally suppressed variant of the MP5, with a ported barrel that bled gas to automatically reduce bullet velocity below the speed of sound. Delta used the SD for operations requiring extreme noise discipline. The suppressor was built into the barrel shroud, making it compact without sacrificing lethality. MP5K. The ultra-compact MP5K, the PERS or short version, was used by Delta for deep cover operations requiring maximum concealment. Small enough to fit in a briefcase or under a jacket, it provided submachine gun firepower in an extraordinarily small package. Its limitations in range were acceptable, given its intended role. M60 Machine Gun. Delta's earliest support element carried the M60 belt-fed general-purpose machine gun for sustained fire capability. At 7.62 by 51mm NATO, it provided a serious step up in range and penetration over rifle calibers. Though heavy and mechanically temperamental, it gave Delta the ability to suppress and destroy at distances individual rifles couldn't reach. M203 Grenade Launcher. The M203 underbarrel grenade launcher, mounted beneath an M16 or CAR-15, gave individual Delta operators an organic 40mm indirect fire capability. It could engage targets behind cover, clear rooms from a standoff distance, or mark targets with smoke rounds. Delta operators referred to the man carrying one as the 203 guy, a critical role in any assault element. Stoner 63. The modular Stoner 63 weapon system, already beloved by Navy SEALs in Vietnam, saw limited use among early Delta operators. Its ability to reconfigure from a rifle to a light machine gun in the field was conceptually ideal for special operations. However, its mechanical sensitivity and maintenance demands eventually made it impractical for Delta's tempo. Era 2. Grenada, Panama, and the Cold War missions, 1983 to 1991. M16A2. By the mid-1980s, Delta was issued the M16A2, a heavier, more accurate rifle with a revised rifling twist and a burst fire rather than fully automatic mode. Delta operators were deeply ambivalent about the burst limiter, and many had armorers modify their weapons to restore full auto capability. The A2's longer range and accuracy were valued, its restrictions less so. Colt Model 733 Commando. The Colt 733 Commando became Delta's preferred short-barreled rifle through the mid to late 1980s. With an 11.5-inch barrel, it split the difference between the CAR-15's compactness and a full carbine's accuracy. Delta units in Grenada and Panama carried this weapon almost exclusively, and it saw some of the earliest true urban combat operations in American Special Forces history. M21 Sniper Rifle. Delta's early snipers deployed the M21, a semi-automatic 7.62mm rifle, based on the M14. Offering faster follow-up shots than bolt-action alternatives, it gave Delta precision capability without sacrificing rate of fire. Used during operations in Grenada and early counter-terror taskings, it remained in Delta's sniper inventory until more advanced platforms arrived. M24 Sniper Weapon System. The bolt-action M24 became Delta's primary precision rifle in the late 1980s. Chambered in 7.62 by 51mm NATO, it offered exceptional accuracy out to 800 meters. Built on a Remington 700 action with a heavy barrel, it became the benchmark for military precision shooting. Delta snipers carried the M24 through Panama, the Gulf War, and into the 1990s. Mossberg 500, alongside the Remington 870. The Mossberg 500 pump-action shotgun found use in Delta as a breaching tool during the late 1980s. It offered slightly different ergonomics that some operators preferred. Both guns were modified with pistol grips and short barrels to minimize footprint while maximizing breaching efficiency. Sig Sauer P226. As Delta moved toward the 9mm NATO standard sidearm in the late 1980s, the SIG P226 became a popular choice among operators. Adopted alongside, and sometimes in preference to, the Army's standard Beretta M9, the P226 was prized for its superior trigger, accuracy, and durability in adverse conditions. Many Delta operators purchased their own and carried them unofficially. Beretta M9, the Army's official sidearm adopted in 1985, the Beretta M9 was standard issue and did find its way into Delta inventories. Most operators, however, considered it inferior to the SIG P226 or continued carrying modified 1911s. The M9's large frame and magazine release placement were common complaints among Delta shooters. M249 SAW, Squad Automatic Weapon. The Belgian-designed FN M249 Squad Automatic Weapon gave Delta assault elements a belt-fed 5.56mm automatic capability at squad level, far lighter than the M60. It allowed a single operator to carry substantial sustained fire capacity. Delta customized their M249s with shortened barrels, improved stocks, and optics, turning the standard LMG into a precision support weapon. M60E3, an upgraded, lightened variant of the original M60, the M60E3 addressed many of the older gun's reliability complaints. Delta's support elements continued using the 7.62mm platform for its range and penetration advantage over 5.56mm. The E3 variant featured a new barrel change system and improved bipod, making it more practical in fast-moving operations. Barrett M82A1. The Barrett M82A1 .50 BMG semi-automatic anti-material rifle entered Delta's inventory in the late 1980s. Capable of engaging vehicles, crew-served weapons, and lightly armored targets at over a mile, it gave Delta snipers a capability entirely without precedent. Delta crews used the Barrett in Panama to disable aircraft at Paitilla Airfield, Though the operation became one of the bloodiest of the invasion, M136AT4, replacing the M72 Law as Delta's go-to disposable anti-armor weapon, the M136AT4 fired an 84mm rocket capable of defeating light armored vehicles and fortified positions. It was shoulder-fired, disposable after a single use, and significantly more powerful than its predecessor. Carried in small numbers by Delta assault elements, it provided a versatile direct-fire heavy punch Mark K-19 grenade launcher. The Mark K-19 automatic 40mm grenade launcher, typically vehicle-mounted, appeared in Delta's motor pool during larger operations. Capable of firing up to 60 grenades per minute, it provided devastating suppressive fire. Though too heavy for dismounted carry, it turned Delta vehicles into offensive platforms during the Gulf War-era taskings. M2HB .50 caliber machine gun. The venerable M2HB, the Mod Deuce, was mounted on Delta vehicles and in defensive positions since the unit's earliest days. Firing the massive .50 BMG round at range, it could disable vehicles, shred light cover, and suppress enemy forces at distances other weapons couldn't touch. It remained a constant in Delta's vehicle fleet across every conflict. Accuracy International L96 PM Delta snipers evaluated and adopted the British Accuracy International Precision Rifle in the late 1980s. Chambered in 7.62mm NATO, the AI offered a chassis design that was revolutionary. The action and barrel could be removed and replaced without re-zeroing. For special operations snipers operating far from armorers, this was a critical advantage. Era 3, Mogadishu and the Black Hawk Down era, 1991 to 1999. Colt M4 Carbine. The M4 Carbine transformed Delta's primary weapon. With a 14.5-inch barrel, collapsible stock, and mounting rail, it hit the sweet spot between the compact commando and a full-length rifle. Delta operators immediately fitted theirs with suppressors, optics, vertical foregrips, and flashlights, creating configurations the wider army wouldn't standardize for years. The M4 was in every Delta operator's hands in Mogadishu in 1993. M4A1. The M4A1, the fully automatic variant, became the Delta-specific standard. Delta lobbied hard for the M4A1 over the standard M4's burst fire limitation. In a close-quarters firefight in an African city, the ability to push an automatic burst into a doorway or vehicle window was non-negotiable. The M4A1 became the definitive Delta carbine. HK MP5 10mm. After the FBI's disastrous 1986 Miami shootout, questions arose about 9mm stopping power. Delta briefly evaluated and operated HK's MP5 chambered in 10mm auto. The 10mm offered significantly more terminal energy. While the experiment was short-lived, the heavy recoil and limited ammunition availability made it impractical. It reflected Delta's constant push to improve lethality. SIG Sauer P228. The compact P228 entered use among Delta operators who needed a smaller concealed sidearm for plainclothes operations. Chambered in 9mm and smaller than the P226, it carried 13 rounds and offered excellent accuracy in a package that could disappear under civilian clothing. It became a popular choice for operators conducting sensitive site reconnaissance. Glock 17. The Glock 17 gradually infiltrated Delta's sidearm inventory through operator preference in the 1990s. Its polymer frame, simplicity, 17-round magazine, and near-total reliability in mud, sand, and water made it extremely attractive. Many Delta operators transitioned to Glocks on their own, acquiring them through unit procurement or personal purchase. Glock 19. The compact Glock 19, essentially a smaller Glock 17, became enormously popular among Delta for the same reasons operators loved the P228. Easier to conceal, still reliable, and carrying 15 rounds of 9mm, it became the preferred secondary weapon for many operators by the late 1990s and into the 2000s. While not a standard Delta weapon, the G3 battle rifle in 7.62 by 51mm appeared in operators' hands during specific operations in the 1990s, where its additional penetration and range were needed. Delta operators have always been known for reaching outside the standard armory when mission requirements demanded it. SR-25 Mark 11 Sniper Rifle. Knights Armaments SR-25 gave Delta snipers a semi-automatic precision rifle in 7.62 by 51mm. Sharing magazine and many parts with the M16/M4 family, it allowed an operator to shoot accurately at 800 meters and still deliver rapid follow-up fire. Delta snipers in the 1990s favored it over bolt-action alternatives for fast-moving urban operations. HK PSG-1. The West German HK-PSG-1 semi-automatic precision rifle saw evaluation and limited use within Delta. Regarded as one of the most inherently accurate semi-automatic rifles ever made, it was expensive, heavy, and fragile, characteristics at odds with the Delta sniper's demanding operating environment. It found more favor as a static counter-sniper platform than a field rifle. M1911 Mogadishu. During the Battle of Mogadishu in October 1993, Delta snipers Gary Gordon and Randy Shugart, who would posthumously receive the Medal of Honor, deployed with available weapons to protect downed helicopter crews. The M1911 was present in Delta's Mogadishu inventory for anti-vehicle and long-range work throughout Task Force Ranger. M240B machine gun. The M240B 7.62mm medium machine gun replaced the M60 series in Delta's support role during the 1990s. Belt-fed and highly reliable, it became the standard vehicle-mounted and assault support weapon. In Mogadishu, M240s on helicopter door mounts and ground vehicles provided the sustained fire that kept multiple rescue columns alive. Minigun, M134. The electrically driven M134 minigun, firing 6,000 rounds per minute of 7.62mm, was mounted on Delta's support helicopters. During the Battle of Mogadishu, minigun fire from AH-6 Little Birds saved countless American lives, destroying Somali crew-served weapons and forcing militia off rooftops. The psychological effect alone was a weapon. M136E1 AT-4CS. Delta adopted the confined space variant of the AT-4 rocket launcher, the AT-4CS, which used a saltwater backblast mechanism, allowing it to be fired safely inside buildings. In urban combat environments like Mogadishu, the ability to fire an anti-armor rocket through a window or from a room was extraordinarily valuable. M67 and M84 stun grenade flashbang. The M84 stun grenade, the flashbang, became central to Delta's hostage rescue doctrine. Producing a blinding flash and deafening bang, it temporarily incapacitates everyone in a room, giving assaulters critical seconds to distinguish and engage threats before they can respond. Delta operators have deployed flashbangs in virtually every hostage and CT operation since the unit's founding. Era 4. The Global War on Terror, 2001 to 2012. HK-416. The HK-416 was arguably the most significant weapons upgrade in Delta Force history. Developed in close collaboration between HK and Delta itself, reportedly led by operator Larry Vickers, the HK-416 replaced the M4A1's direct impingement gas system with a short-stroke piston. The result was dramatically reduced fouling, allowing thousands of rounds between cleanings. It became Delta's primary assault rifle, and has remained so. HK-416 D10RS. Delta operators also employed the longer 16-inch barreled HK-416 D10RS variant for improved muzzle velocity and accuracy at extended range. The longer barrel, while sacrificing some compactness, gave operators who expected engagements past 300 meters a meaningful ballistic advantage. Multiple configurations of the HK-416 could be found within a single Delta assault element. HK-417. The HK-417, the 7.62 by 51mm big brother of the HK-416, gave Delta-designated marksmen and recce operators a hard-hitting battle rifle. Sharing the same piston-driven operating system as the HK-416, it provided the punch of a 7.62mm round in a reliable, modern platform used in Iraq and Afghanistan for engagements exceeding carbine range. CQBR Mk18 Mod 0. The ultra-short 10.4-inch barreled CQBR close-quarters battle receiver appeared in Delta inventories for vehicle infiltration, aircraft assault, and extremely confined space operations. Essentially an M4 lower with a Navy SEAL-developed upper, it sacrificed range for unmatched compactness. Delta operators would swap uppers based on mission profiles. Sig Sauer P226 post 9/11. Delta extensively used the P226 in both 9mm and .357 SIG configurations. The .357 SIG cartridge, a bottlenecked round that pushed a 9mm bullet to extreme velocities, was evaluated as an answer to body armor penetration concerns. Some Delta operators carried .357 SIG P226s, specifically for targets expected to wear vests. Glock 21. Operators who maintained faith in the stopping power of the .45 ACP round transitioned to the Glock 21, combining the reliability and simplicity of Glock's platform with the larger caliber. The Glock 21 held 13 rounds of .45, more than any 1911 variant, and was virtually immune to the conditions of Afghanistan and Iraq. HK-USP. The HK-USP in .45 ACP was carried by some Delta operators who desired a DA-SA pistol with a manual safety in the larger caliber. The USP's combat-oriented design, developed with American Special Operations input, made it well-suited to Delta's demands. Its Picatinny rail allowed the mounting of tactical lights. Mk12 Special Purpose Rifle (SPR). The Mk12 SPR gave Delta designated marksman a dedicated 5.56mm precision rifle, longer 18-inch barrel, and optimized for the 77-grain Mark II 62 ammunition. It extended effective range well beyond standard M4 carbines. In Afghanistan, where engagements routinely occurred at 400 to 600 meters, the Mk12 filled a critical capability gap. M110 Semi-Automatic Sniper System (SASS). Delta adopted the M110 SASS, built on the Knight's Armament SR-25 platform, as its primary semi-automatic precision rifle. Chambered in 7.62 by 51mm, with a suppressor as standard equipment, it allowed precise, quiet shots at up to 800 meters. The suppressor reduced both noise and visual signature, critical for sensitive operations in denied areas. Mark 13 Mod 5 Sniper Rifle. The Mark 13 Mod 5, chambered in .300 Winchester Magnum, extended Delta's sniper's effective range well beyond a mile. Open mountain terrain of Afghanistan, where targets regularly appeared at 1,000 meters and beyond. The .300 Win Mag's additional energy and flat trajectory were decisive advantages. Delta snipers built a fearsome reputation with the Mark 13. Chi-Tak M200 intervention. Delta snipers evaluated and employed the Chi-Tak M200, chambered in the proprietary .408 Chi-Tak cartridge. At extreme ranges exceeding 2,000 meters, the M200's combination of a highly aerodynamic bullet and sophisticated ballistic computers pushed beyond what any standard sniper rifle could achieve. It was a niche but devastatingly capable long-range assassination tool. Accuracy International AXMC. The Accuracy International AXMC and .338 Lapua Magnum filled the gap between the 7.62mm M110 and the 50 BMG Barrett. With an effective range of approximately 1,500 meters, the .338 Lapua offered superior terminal performance against personnel and lightly protected targets at distances with a 7.62mm lost effectiveness. It became a favorite of Delta snipers in Afghanistan. Barrett M107A1. The updated M107A1, a lightened, suppressor-compatible version of the original M82, entered Delta's sniper inventory in the mid-2000s. A titanium barrel and muzzle brake reduced weight, while an aluminum upper receiver enhanced durability. The .50 BMG round remained irreplaceable for anti-material work against vehicles, radars, IED components, and fortified positions. M32 Multiple Grenade Launcher (MGL). The 6-shot M32 revolver-style 40mm grenade launcher gave Delta assaulters rapid-fire explosive capability without the weight of an M203 equipped rifle. Capable of delivering 6 grenades in under 3 seconds, it was used for area saturation, vehicle stopping, and clearing rooftops. Its bulk made it a deliberate choice for specific missions rather than standard kit. Mk47 Striker AGL. The lightweight Mark 47 automatic grenade launcher gave Delta vehicle elements a precision-guided, air-bursting grenade capability. With an integrated fire control system, it could program 40mm grenades to detonate at exact ranges, eliminating enemies in defilade, a problem that had plagued infantry since World War I. It became a prized asset in Iraq. M2A1 .50 caliber machine gun. The M2A1 upgrade to the classic M2HB featured a quick change barrel and improved flash hider. Delta vehicles in both Iraq and Afghanistan mounted M2A1s as primary heavy fire support. Against insurgent technicals, light vehicles, and personnel in the open, nothing in Delta's inventory delivered the same combination of range and destructive power. M240L machine gun, a titanium-intensive lightened variant of the M240B. The M240L shed several pounds from the standard gun, while maintaining the same 7.62mm punch. For Delta operators who carried or crewed the weapon on long dismounted operations in Afghanistan, every pound mattered. The L variant became a preferred choice for mobile assault elements. HK MP7A1. The HK MP7A1 personal defense weapon, chambered in a proprietary 4.6 by 30mm armor-piercing cartridge, was adopted by Delta for specific scenarios where a suppressible ultra-compact automatic weapon was required. Its integral folding stock and ability to penetrate body armor at close range made it ideal for protective security details and vehicle operations. FN SCAR H Mark 17. The FN SCAR H, in 7.62 x 51mm, heavier and longer ranged than the SCAR L, was evaluated and used by Delta operators wanting the increased power of 7.62mm in a modern assault rifle format. In Iraq's urban environment, its ability to penetrate walls and vehicles outweighed the weight penalty. Some Delta operators preferred it over the HK-417 for specific missions. Suppressed 22 LR pistol, high standard, Ruger. Delta maintains suppressed 22 LR pistols, both high standard and Ruger variants, for ultra-low signature work. The near-silent suppressed 22 could eliminate sentries, guard dogs, or surveillance assets without producing the noise signature of a larger caliber. Their use is among the least publicized aspects of Delta's operational history. Taser X26. Delta operators began carrying the Taser X26 electroshock device as part of their less lethal toolkit, particularly for operations requiring capture rather than killing. On high-value target raids, where detainee intelligence value was paramount, having a reliable non-lethal incapacitation option prevented operational failures caused by lethal engagements with unarmed personnel. ANPEQ-15 ATPIAL. The ANPEQ-15 Advanced Target Pointer Illuminator Aiming Laser became ubiquitous on Delta weapons. Projecting both visible and infrared laser designators, it allowed operators using night vision goggles to aim with extraordinary precision without raising a weapon to eye level. Delta operators fighting at night could engage targets faster and more accurately than any enemy using conventional sights. EOTech EXPS-3 Holographic Sight. Specifically, the EXPS-3 variant became Delta's standard close to medium-range optic. Its large, transparent window maintained situational awareness while providing a precise aiming reticle. Combined with a 3x magnifier that flipped aside for close quarters work, it gave Delta operators a highly adaptable sighting solution. Night Force ATACR. Delta's precision shooters equipped their longer-range platforms with the Night Force ATACR, Advanced Tactical Compact Rifle. Scope. Renowned for its optical clarity, precise tracking adjustments, and durability under extreme conditions, the ATACR became the gold standard for special operations precision shooting across multiple calibers and platforms. Surefire M600 Scout Light. The Surefire M600 and its variants became the standard weapon-mounted light in Delta's arsenal. In the dark alleys of Fallujah and the unlit compounds of Kandahar, a reliable, blinding tactical light was as important as the weapon it was mounted on. Surefire became synonymous with Delta and SOF flashlights universally. Era 5, Counter-ISIS, Syria, and the Modern Threat, 2012 to present, HK-416A5. The latest generation HK-416A5 features an improved upper receiver, enhanced ergonomics, and a new handguard system. Delta has continued fielding the HK-416 platform in evolving variants, and the A5 represents the current state of development. Operators customize their rifles extensively. Optics, suppressors, grips, and stocks are tuned to individual body dimensions and mission profiles. SIG Sauer MCX. The SIG MCX, a piston-driven, modular carbine capable of switching between 5.56mm, 300 blackout, and 7.62 by 39mm, attracted significant Delta attention. Its ability to quickly reconfigure to different calibers for different threat environments aligned perfectly with Delta's adaptive mission profile. The MCX's folding stock also made it exceptionally compact for vehicle and airborne operations. SIG Sauer MCX Rattler 300 Black. The ultra-compact MCX Rattler in 300 Blackout became a specialized tool in Delta's toolkit. When suppressed with subsonic 300 Blackout ammunition, it produced near-Hollywood quiet operation, while still delivering lethal performance at close range. Used by operators on vehicle assaults and sensitive site exploitations where noise discipline was critical. Geisel's Super Duty Rifle. Delta operators have been documented using Geisel's Super Duty Rifle, an M4 pattern rifle using Geisel's own proprietary upper and lower, as a base for further customization. Featuring exceptional trigger quality and a mil-spec plus build standard, it represented the direction of high-end operator-procured weapon systems in the 2010s. Daniel Defense Mk18. The Daniel Defense Mk18, a commercial recreation of the CQBR concept, found its way into some Delta operators' hands as a personally purchased or unit-procured weapon. Its match-quality barrel and tight tolerances offered improved accuracy over standard-issue weapons at the same short barrel length. SIG Sauer P320 M17 M18. As the U.S. Army transitioned to the P320 modular handgun system, Delta evaluated and eventually incorporated the platform. The P320's modular serialized chassis, which can be reconfigured across frame sizes and calibers, offered supply chain simplicity and a striker-fired trigger that many operators preferred to the older DA/SA SIG designs. Glock 34, Competition Tactical. The long-slide Glock 34 in 9mm found use among Delta marksmen who valued its longer sight radius and superior accuracy for precise shots at distance. Combined with a red dot optic and custom trigger work, the G34 became a formidable precision sidearm for operators who needed a pistol capable of work beyond 25 meters. Glock 26, Subcompact. For deep cover, liaison, and sensitive site reconnaissance missions, where a full-size weapon was inappropriate, some Delta operators carried the subcompact Glock 26. At 10 rounds of 9mm in a package small enough to disappear in a waistband, it provided meaningful firepower in a near-invisible profile. KAC Improved Assault Rifle, IAR. Knight's Armament Company worked closely with Delta and other SOF units on various rifle and upper receiver configurations. Delta's direct relationship with KAC produced several semi-custom upper assemblies optimized for suppressed fire, including free-floating handguards and precision-machined barrels tuned for Delta's preferred ammunition. MK48 Mod 2 Machine Gun. The MK48 machine gun, a lightweight 7.62mm belt-fed system designed specifically for SOF use, became a mainstay in Delta assault elements operating against ISIS in Syria and Iraq. Weighing only 18 pounds, it offered M240-level firepower in a package that could be carried and operated by a single operator during fast-moving, dismounted raids. MAWAs. M3 MAWAs, Carl Gustaf. The M3 Carl Gustaf 84mm recoilless rifle gave Delta operators an unmatched direct-fire heavy weapon. Unlike the disposable AT4, the Carl Gustaf is reloadable, firing a wide family of rounds, including anti-armor, thermobaric, illumination, and airburst munitions. Against ISIS vehicle-borne IEDs and fortified positions in Syria, it became an indispensable tool. SMA-D, shoulder-launched multi-purpose assault weapon. Delta carried the SMA-WD disposable variant as a vehicle-launched or dismounted round for destroying fortifications, rooms, and lightly armored vehicles. Its thermobaric warhead option, producing devastating overpressure inside enclosed spaces, was particularly effective in the dense urban environments of Mosul and Raqqa. Javelin, FGM-148. The Javelin fire-and-forget anti-tank missile system, normally considered a heavy infantry weapon, appeared in Delta's hands during ISIS operations. Delta teams used javelins against ISIS technical vehicles, armored suicide car bombs, and fortified positions with devastating effect. Their top attack capability made it nearly impossible for any ground vehicle to survive a lock. Switchblade 300, loitering munition. Delta began integrating the AeroVironment Switchblade 300, a small, man-portable loitering munition launched from a tube, into their operations. Capable of flying for up to 15 minutes before diving onto a target at high speed, it gave small Delta teams a precision strike capability without requiring air support. Against ISIS leadership targets and crew-served weapons, it became a game-changer. Switchblade 600. The larger Switchblade 600, capable of defeating armored vehicles with a shaped charge warhead, extended Delta's organic anti-armor precision strike capability in a conflict where ISIS used armored suicide vehicles as strategic weapons. Having a tube-launched precision munition that could hit a moving SVB IED from kilometers away was operationally decisive. Surefire SOCOM Suppressor Series. Delta Force has long been a testing ground for Surefire's SOCOM series suppressors, designed specifically to withstand the heat of rapid automatic fire without a drop in reliability. The SOCOM suppressors reduced both sound signature and muzzle flash. On the HK416 and M4A1 platforms, they became standard equipment for nearly every Delta operation. Silencer Co. Omega. The Silencer Co. Omega suppressor, renowned for exceptional sound reduction across multiple calibers, was evaluated and adopted by individual Delta operators and unit procurement. Its modular design, allowing configuration changes between full-length and short modes, gave operators flexibility without carrying multiple cams. GPNV G18, Ground Panoramic Night Vision Goggles. While not a weapon, the L3 GPNV G18 Panoramic Night Vision Goggles fundamentally transformed Delta's nighttime lethality. providing a 97-degree field of view through 4 image intensifier tubes. Operators wearing them could fight with speed and accuracy in total darkness that left enemies completely blind. The team that killed Osama bin Laden, including Delta operators, used GPMVGs throughout. Remote breaching charges. Delta has continuously developed and refined custom explosive breaching charges, linear, strip, and plate charges, using high-order explosives including KETN and RDX. Tailor-made for specific door, wall, and vehicle types, these charges allow entry in fractions of a second. Their design and employment remain among Delta's most closely guarded tactical secrets. Claymore M18A1. The M18A1 directional anti-personnel mine remained in Delta's toolkit for establishing defensive perimeters, blocking routes, and protecting helicopter landing zones during raids. Firing 700 steel balls across a 60-degree arc to a range of 50 meters, a claymore positioned correctly could halt an entire enemy reaction force long enough for Delta to extract. As the U.S. Army begins transitioning to the XM7 rifle, chambered in the new 6.8 by 51mm hybrid cartridge, Delta Force is widely expected to evaluate and potentially adopt the platform ahead of the broader force. Designed specifically to defeat body armor systems anticipated on near-peer battlefields, the XM7's cartridge represents the most significant caliber shift in American infantry weapons in decades.